According to his calculation now, I'm at least 4 seconds quicker for half.
Yeah, and unbeatable.
I made it to Düsseldorf for the first first block of testing for 2026, and did some changes on the position yesterday. Yeah, back fit wise, trying out some different saddles, and now today we'll see how it's going aerodynamic wise in that position. So yeah, some bigger changes from how I was riding in 25. So yeah, should be fun. Way more over the front and over the cockpit again. Maybe a little bit similar to how it was in 24. But this time around I need to figure out how I can actually be steering it, because it's like it's not like I can just build it for aerodynamic and Kona, as we have Nice 1 month before in that technical course. So I both need to find something that's fast CDA wise, but also something I can be controlling. So yeah, so far pretty good days of testing, but today will be the first time I will be out on the Velodrome and get like a feeling for it. So quite excited.
Is this a process you go through basically every year at the beginning of the season to try and find the small adjustments and changes?
This is maybe the first time we've done a big block of this, and because this whole trip to Germany is just for working on the bike position, and first the bike position, and then in the end of it we will also work on the suit. Normally we have sort of done it as a part of the training camps, but I think now it's been 2.5 months at home. It was nice to have like 4 days here now in Germany and just sort out everything with the bike position before I will go on my big trip for the races in New Zealand and Australia, and as well in the US. So it will be like 4 days doing it properly now, and then find something that's really efficient. And as well, maybe one of the mistakes we did in the past has been that we haven't looked too much into the biomechanics of the riding. While yesterday I spent maybe 4 or 5 hours looking at that and how the different positions on the saddle and how I was sitting on the saddle, and as well going a little bit shorter on the crank arms as well. So I would say I've been doing the goal for 26 is to do it more like sort of just lock in position earlier and then work towards October and Hawaii with it. So now we'll first do some baseline laps, 3 minutes I think, around 44-45 per hour, and then 3 minutes a little bit faster. So we're aiming to be around sort of 300 watts or so, and to ride for like 6-7 minutes at 300 watts isn't too hard, but it's going to be like on and off. So typically it'll be like on the track for like 8 or 10 minutes, and then off the track for maybe 10-15 minutes doing some changes, and on again. So we'll probably be here for maybe 4 or 5 hours, sort of on off while waiting to get started. And yeah, it's always odd to go onto a Velodrome again after having not been here for a while, because as you can see, like the curves are quite bent, and that's something I'm not used to. So for the first few laps it just takes a little bit of practice to be comfortable with it, but then after maybe 10-15 minutes it should be okay. Also, one thing that's quite tricky on a Velodrome is that you're sort of losing control of which laps you are on. So it's more like I basically I don't really know if I'm on this side or that side. Like when I'm swimming, I know like if I'm swimming out from the wall or back again. But here it's sort of just like, yeah, almost like just going in loops. But yeah, it's fun to be back on the Velodrome.
from home, so you get just the new ones. And I will let you ship the custom insoles, and I also give you more pairs of these.
Yeah.
Just spare parts.
Okay. Thank you. More support for the inside of my, what do you call it? The bow, the bridge.
The bridge.
Yeah. So it's like more evenly spread out the power. Apparently the wood is a bit sort of humid or wet, so that's gonna create a little bit of slow conditions as well. I think the temperature here, it's like around 15 degrees, so that's also creating some slower conditions on the track compared to if we had done the test in the summer, as an example. So it's quite interesting how just the same wood can have a different sort of response in January versus July, June. Yeah, so over the last couple of years we also used the body rocket system to do this sort of testing outside in the field. But in Europe in January we are sort of limited in terms of doing suit testing at this time of the year, so that's also why we have to go inside to the Velodrome, simply because of the conditions out in Europe isn't favorable for outside riding. Same, just different color.
One for you, one for Gustav, and then you need to take it out for Solveig.
Even have a dumb GPS dummy
Yeah.
for the races.
You know where it comes from?
Water bottle.
No, my salt, my wife's salt thing. It's just a cover, because I wanted to build one, and then she said I'm gonna have something which is similar to the GCS tracker on the size.
It will be even more salt on it than after today.
I gotta clean it up then. Yeah. So yesterday we did the fitting in the lab, so which was mainly biomechanics. Today we're gonna control his new position on the bike. We're gonna do a baseline, which he's doing now for the moment, and then we're gonna change the position this morning to get even more aerodynamic. He's way more aerodynamic than before, than last year. And then this afternoon we're gonna test different visors on the helmets, different shapes of visors, and then tomorrow actually only on suits.
Two baseline done, and now we will go a little bit lower again, so that will end up being 3 centimeters lower than what I had originally. So it's quite good to just have take 4 days now, sort of not off training, but just nailing the position. So it's fast, and it might be a little bit harsh to start riding it in training in terms of power, but at least I have 4 weeks to just practice it before New Zealand, and the goal now is to sort of use this position both in New Zealand, Australia and in the US, and then we will do another maybe 3 or 4 days where we will look through the position and collect some experience and see if we can go even further forward, lower, or lift it up and see how it is out on the road.
So far it's a little bit scary to get back on the track. Last time I remember being super confident. This time it takes a little bit of time to get used to it again. Maybe I'm getting old and getting scared, but it's not very scary, but yeah. Let's try again.
So how was the bike fit?
It's still going on. I tried some different seats.
Yeah?
I think I found one that is better, but it's hard to know with seats because the discomfort comes after like 2 hours, and then it's so hurting so much. So you don't really know after 4 minutes. But I think I found a better one.
You have a winner alongside the 20 seats you had with you. Saddles.
Yeah, I tested all of them. I tested like 4, so which quite different seats, and then I can maybe test a bit more. Those were similar to the one I have now, maybe a bit later as well, but it's much narrower now, and I think that's better.
Good, good, good. But can we make it more narrow?
No,
Why not?
because we don't have the right plates.
But this is not the plate here. Like this hole in the inside, it's not here.
Yeah.
No, we have a plate with 2 holes.
Yeah,
One hole,
yeah.
then it's not moving. We need to cut it here. This is a possibility. Then we need to cut it.
this one.
Yeah, because
it's
the
too
hole.
narrow.
Yeah, it's either too narrow that it doesn't
But
work.
that's okay. You can just cut this one out.
Yeah.
Oh, but you cannot shift that, huh?
That's fine.
Are you doing some experiments with Gustav's bike parts?
He has a little bit more, like, I would say, almost sexier front, you know, like you can just grab over it instead of having the poles sticking up. So now we want to bring the bars together a little bit more narrow in the front, but then it's too tight, like it doesn't really fit. So then we need to take a saw and cut like the edge of it. And he's giving me permission to do so.
That's what good friends do.
Yeah, it is. Need to keep the blood sugar high.
Any more for today, or are we done for today?
Now I will test some bottle placements. So we are sort of happy with the position now, but I think we will try to put like 2 bottles behind and something in between the arms if we're able to place them. If not, I think we're done for the day. So no, it's we came at like 9 o'clock. Now it's closer to close to 4. So it's a lot of hours, but it's definitely a good investment in terms of using the time and getting comfortable in the position and finding something fast. So tomorrow will be all about the suits. So now we have the position locked in, and then we will look around with the turbulators and that stuff again, combining the preferred fabric, like with the holes, and maybe putting the turbulators a little bit further down on the back and see how that's comparing to each other. Now I'm just done with sort of the position wise, and then
Then I need
yeah, sort of happy with that. So now it's more having another long day tomorrow, but then the position is locked in, and we will more look just on the suits. Time to squeeze in a little swim. So nice to move the overbody as well. So like maybe 5k with some 50s and 100s with a little bit intensity, but it's more like ticking off a session and then getting ready again tomorrow for another day of testing on the track. Yeah, so this is the evidence we're actually gonna swim, but we're not allowed to film in there. So this is the most swim footage you will see from us today.
Oh no, your followers is missing out. Are you afraid they will think you're not swimming? So you actually have to tell them.
That we would just walk into the pool.
No glass bottle in the
I'm not
pool.
allowed to bring this bottle inside. Shit, I've already been told. No glass bottles and no filming in the pool. So right now you're actually breaking 2 rules.
Second day of testing here. So now we will just go through a lot of different suits. So maybe 15 different runs, different ways of putting on the fabric. So another long day.
Do you expect to find some differences compared to last year, for example, when you did it?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully it's gonna be a little bit quicker. But also I moved the position a little bit like further forward and down, and that's also impacting how the airflow is going over the back. So even the position is different, so that's also gonna do some changes on how the suit is performing.
Peace and love to all.
How are you doing?
I slept like a baby. I came back home, called my girlfriend a little bit, and then just passed out for almost 9 hours. So well rested. I'm ready to go another day.
Jeg brukte den i Colombia på litt skitten, altså for å trekke prikkene.
Ja.
Trying to work against aging, trying to improve my recovery. So I think one of my limitations is often that when I train so many hours, my muscles tend to sort of get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer, and I feel just working on the mobility, especially for the swim, but also for the bike and the TT position, is like an area I can improve.
Have you seen some good improvements since you started using the app?
Yes, I would say. Again, like especially feeling better in the water, as well as like getting more ready for the session before I'm starting. And yeah, so far I've managed to stay injury-free as well. But I feel like it's more the efficiency itself when I start training that's been the biggest improvements. In the app I can do like this mobility test, and it gives me a mobility score, so I can test like the stiffness in the lower calf muscles and in the hamstring and the rotation, and then based on what sport I'm putting in that I want to be good at, it gives me exercises based on where I'm supposed to be good at swimming or running or cycling, and then I can sort of track my improvements there. What I like is that it's not just random exercises I'm been giving, but it's like based on where I'm strong and where I'm flexible. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. But if you want to try it out yourself, you can go into the GOWOD app and use the code KB10 to get 10% discount. And you'll feel younger again, more flexible and more ready to go. Now I am ready to go. So now I will jump into the tri-suit and head out on the track. So now I'm going to do this one. This is a very new one, or we had the option of using it in this last year, but we hadn't tested it before the race. So this one is having like this mesh panel in the front, and we wonder on how it's both performing in the water, because it's like a little bit takes in a little bit more water in the fabric. But the idea is that this is supposed to be helping with the cooling more than this fabric. So that's going to be the next round. no turbulars on, but it's still perforated here. First, I did 2 baselines with the turbulars on as well as the perforated. Then I did 1 round with just the perforated, just this sort of the holes here to maximize this, and that was actually 5 watts quicker at 47k per hour. So now we will see how this one is performing to the one with only 4,000 holes in it. So this suit is having a little bit of everything. So in one way we should hope that this one is not the fastest, because then it's going to be extremely expensive, because it has both the holes in it, like here. You can see these holes, as well as the turbulators, as well as the mesh panel. So a little bit of everything. The previous round, where I had the mesh in front, was for me quicker, for Gustav tiny bit slower, I think. So as long as I can swim with it and it doesn't slow me down, it should be a good option. Could be a good option.
So should I go back to the Rudy for this to see the baseline?
Isn't this identical on the shoulders and back
As
as the
the
baseline?
baseline, yes.
So the only difference from the baseline is
The mesh.
the mesh in
and
front.
The holes.
Holes?
It's only the mesh and the holes.
It wasn't holes on the baseline?
No.
That was just turbulators?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Happy with today. Good testing. Now the interesting one was that I think the numbers show that the one with sort of the more breathable materials in the front was even like 2 watts quicker than the rest. So now we will try to play around with some placement of turbulators further below on the back. So first half of the day it's been going smooth, efficient, as well as the legs is feeling good out there on the track. That makes a huge difference on how days like this is feeling, because to be on and off, high power, high speed, can sometimes be feeling rough, but today I'm feeling good.
One bigger stripe, just I had good experience with that. Like that was at the end just realized was kind of double sewing the fabrics together
Yeah.
to really separate the airflow that goes around.
Yeah, because it's here and it's difficult to do something about
No, but I was
it,
just
but
like
we need
if
to
the
try.
fabric is more harsh
Yes, it is.
under
We have a Surpas
It is. There's
sweaty conditions.
the surface is more, rough as it.
It will be interesting to see. It's probably the same there.
We are here in Düsseldorf, just outside Düsseldorf in Germany, testing with the new program that we have, Surpas Service Course, where we are supporting our athletes with full service on testing. Not only testing suits, but also testing helmets, testing wheel sets, testing positioning. So focus is to support our athletes, and what we're doing here today is also focusing, of course, on the suits, making the next versions of next versions of our suit to push development on suits. We're doing this together with athletes. We want to support, not be restrictive in any way, to help them align on testing. So this is a network of resources we're using, where we are focusing on aerodynamics, but aerodynamics is not only the suit. So this is where we support athletes. We're starting with some selected few, and we will grow the program into more athletes, where it can be a service of R to become faster. That's That is the simple task, becoming the fastest they can be, fastest possible.
Is the cadence exactly the same then?
No, you will go faster there.
Yeah.
So the bike is running away there, and then you slow down here. This is up and down.
This is going down out of the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you let's say you're pushing quite a bit against it.
Yeah.
I have triathletes seen that they are like the wattage is exactly the same, and that is, and then others where the speed is exactly the same and the power is
Very different.
going more up and down. So you're like a normal pattern, let's say.
Yeah. Oh, it's very different. We've been maybe 5 times to the track.
Yeah.
So.
But if you do an hour record, you really need to focus on that smooth pedaling, because otherwise these short kicks are hurting you.
Yeah.
Because I can.
Interesting information.
Interesting stuff. So it's like I haven't done much riding on the track, but you really feel like the gravity is like forcing you down into the corner, and it's almost like the blood is going all the way down, and then also like you can feel the pressure on the saddle and on the front. So it's fun. So in a race I typically use like 15-20 seconds extra if I want to put on the calf sleeves if it's a non-wetsuit swim. So it will be, now we can need to see if it's more than 20 seconds quicker over 90 or 180k. According to his calculation now, I'm at least 4 seconds quicker for half.
Yeah, and unbeatable.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see.
Let's see
In
what
October and September. That's what we're counting down for. Yes, we will do some races before then, but it's a World Championship season comeback. Want to become world champion again. I think that was my final run, and yeah, just waiting for the data on these calves to figure out if this is the fastest option or if we should go for the one with 2 lines with the turbulators. But anyway, it's been a good solid block of testing. Quite happy with how I'm now feeling on the bike, and yeah, quite grateful that Surpas is organizing this 3-4 days of testing here in Germany, and that they are, yeah, not just a supplier of race suits, but also helping us improving. So quite grateful for that as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions for where we're heading next or whatever, just feel free to put them in the bottom. And anyway, thanks for watching. Ciao.